And welcome to the Comics Brew and Chew podcast, where we drink beers, eat snacks, and talk about comic books.
I don't want to do any of this right now.
Why not?
We have some breaking news. Right as we recorded this, I decided to look it up.
Yeah?
So the hit video game PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds is doing a crossover with DC. And they added 2 characters.
Who?
To PlayerUnknown Battleground.
Harley Quinn and Deadshot.
You were close.
Oh?
Harley Quinn and Joker.
Harley Quinn and Joker.
Oh boy!
Suicide Squad appearances.
Our power
God.
couple.
PUBG. So yeah, that's
So it helps that we're having
Oh, it
beers
looks
right
really
now.
bad. Oh my god, yeah. I'm glad
Yeah,
I
they're not
said
strong
that.
enough.
The beers?
Mm-hmm.
Well, see...
Well, for this.
Well, no, because...
6.8 AVP is not
we
bad.
we are currently drinking Rosemary's Baby, Scary Good Pumpkin Ale.
Wow, same thing we were drinking last
That's
podcast.
because
Yeah.
we just stopped recording and reopened Tone.
Yeah.
Don't ruin the illusion.
There
We're
is
gonna
no...
bunch out one day.
There's no illusion. But here's the other thing. We also have a 12-pack of Heineken we're going to crack into at some point. Well, I'm just taking it all home.
Excuse me.
But, and I'll fucking go through it tonight. And we're still enjoying Tim Tams and leftover Halloween candy and whatever else we all decided to bring because it's not only after Halloween, but before Thanksgiving. So we're having a really shitty food Thanksgiving early.
Why don't we just
Friendsgiving.
have a turkey for our next podcast?
Funny you mention that. Me and Fred both get free turkeys because of our work
Woo!
this year. Up
Free
to
turkey.
25 pounds.
Up to 25.
Yo, we should do that.
I'll get one.
Okay. Oh,
You get yours because I think my mom wants to give ours to my grandparents. But I'm like, that's
No.
my turkey.
But you get 3.
I know we get 3.
I get
Because
1.
the stupid company didn't think, let's limit 1 per household. No, it's 1 per employee. So
That's
3
great.
people in my family work at our store, so we're getting a free 25-pound turkey each.
So one for you guys, one for the grandparents.
One for my other grandma, and one
Okay.
for us.
We should literally have a Friendsgiving this year.
I pitched that to the wider friend group.
So,
I'm not sure who heard me, but I did pitch
I
it.
am down with that.
So
and
if they
we
don't
should
want-
just do Secret Santa pulling on that day.
I was going to say,
Bingo.
if they don't want to, I'm down for Friendsgiving. But knowing that I'm down for Friendsgiving and that I worked in a restaurant, I'm going to be the one to cook the turkey.
I mean, I can make sides.
So on this podcast, outside of us just randomly deciding we're going to
Have Thanksgiving.
have
John,
Thanksgiving.
put it in the other chat.
I'll put it in the chat.
Really?
I'll pitch it.
At some
so
point.
today we're here to talk about Marvels. I could not get through it. That's a disclaimer right now. I like the art style. I just hated the writing style. I hated the narration. I hated I was following the pirate journalist. I want to follow superheroes.
So it's a Marvel book
I
called
love
Marvels,
this
written,
book.
written by Kurt Busiek with art by Alex Ross. We got to get the credits in there before we start talking about shit.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
I know. Fred said it gets better, but I couldn't do
It
it.
gets
I
better.
loved it.
I had something else to read. I was reading this book series called Dune for the 9th time, so I couldn't finish it.
Right? Here we go. I've
No,
actually never read it before, and it's my first time going
I
through
was
it.
taking shots at Tom. Tom didn't read this because he was reading Dune. I didn't finish it because I was reading something else though. So
What were you reading?
the new Halo novel.
Okay.
So yeah,
And he also read the other book for the comic book podcast.
bingo.
And I told John if he couldn't get through it, it would make for an interesting discussion point, which is what we're going to do now.
Yeah.
Discuss this comic
You
book.
guys talk about it. I'll flip through and look at stuff and be like, "What do you thinkers?"
So, brief synopsis, as we always do. It is the story of a man named Phil something. I can't remember his last name. It starts with an H, I believe. He,
I agree.
Shut the fuck up, Tom. This podcast is uncensored.
Not if I censor it when I edit.
Tom?
And then you're going to teach me how to edit. I'm taking all your power. So, it is the story of a man named Phil who becomes a photojournalist. He follows the uprise of this sensation called the Marvels. The book we are reading is actually his book that he published called Marvels, which is his photo recollection of everything that happened from World War II onward in the Marvel universe.
It starts before World War II.
It does start a little bit before World War II.
Yeah.
Just outside of it. But you follow the progression of the Marvels, starting with the original Human Torch, Toro the android, who just spontaneously combusts. It goes into World War II with the rise of Captain America, Namor, and the Invaders, and goes all the way up until the death of Gwen Stacy, which Kurt Busiek, the author, refers to as the dawn of modern comics. Which is weird, but cool. And it gets everything in between. Stan Lee has once praised this book. I only know that because of somebody talking about a quote in the book.
Boss.
And they
It's also the foreword is Stanley talking about the book.
Right. But here's the thing. He wrote everything that's in the book. Yeah, it's great. It's based off of everything I did, which was great.
Look how great my work is.
It's
Excelsior.
It'd be like him looking at the Marvel movies and being like, look at all these characters I made. I'm so cool. And I'm like, yeah, when Jack Kirby drew half of them, it was fucking fantastic.
But yeah, like I said, I didn't like the narration. It like dragged on for too long. There's a lot of text on the page. It couldn't really hold my attention. I prefer Dr. Seuss books, so that's a natural why I couldn't get through it.
So, I like Marvel. My favorite character in comics is Thor.
Fred likes Thor? Wow.
I swear to Christ, one of these days Tom's going to get hit on the podcast, and they're going to hear it. But, I'm by no means a Marvel expert, because I only dabble. I do a lot of independent books. However, shoving another sweet, tart Chewy into our mouth is Amanda, who is
I'm still.
a Marvel aficionado of sorts.
I absolutely love this, and I know next to nothing about help. Again,
I don't know, I didn't read the book.
Hey, the audible hitting of Tom.
I also just lost a sweetheart.
Oh,
But
don't worry about it.
anyway,
Spouse
X-Men.
abuse. Right,
and I'm very intrigued due to this book.
right. Because if you haven't read the book, there's a point where Phil and his family believes a raccoon has been digging through their trash and knocking over trash cans, as it has across the neighborhood. They found out one of their young children has hidden a person in their basement. That person is a small girl who is a mutant. The book deals with mutants in a way that the X-Men books did, but in reverse. This is a look at mutants through the eyes of regular humans, as X-Men is a look at mutant life through the eyes of mutants. Mutants are a persecuted group. Here, he sees the mutants as, like, not the threat they are perceived to be by the media at large. I'm not saying the media is the enemy of the people. People have said that in the past. I don't want to name names, but that's incorrect.
In the past? Said it now, Fred.
I know. It was just in the recent past.
Yeah.
In the modern discourse. However, he does fall for the fear-mongering a little bit until he actually sees this young mutant girl, who is otherwise harmless, but he recognizes her, because of her sunken eyes and shallow face, as a survivor of the Holocaust, which he experienced, not him being himself a Jew, but being a photojournalist during World War II, having to take pictures of Holocaust survivors. Which is cool. Not like the Holocaust school or anything, but it's a nice, like, homage to that, given that Marvel Comics, like Stan Lee, believed that the writers and everybody at Marvel should do their part to help the war, because he said if they're boys fighting overseas for us, and all we're doing is writing stories to send them, we should do our part as well.
Yeah.
But, it's, because also Magneto, being a Holocaust survivor, takes it in the opposite direction, that we were mistreated as both mutants and Jews, and that we should get our revenge on the world, or make it a utopia where we can thrive, and they suffer what we suffered. It's usually a direction they like to take Magneto. Sometimes he's a sympathetic villain, sometimes he's not. This isn't an X-Men podcast, though, even though we might dabble some more on the socio-political points that the X-Men represent.
He's definitely become more sympathetic in recent years.
Right.
He wasn't so sympathetic in, like, the Bryan Singer trilogy.
Right.
He's very like, ha 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 ha, evil. And now he's like, oh, he's got a point.
Yeah, but then again, for a while, Magneto was also like, ha 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 ha, I'm evil. Because that's what an evil supervillain does when you don't want to give them context.
Yeah, that's true.
I enjoyed the book. I can definitely see where John comes from with the narration and being long-winded. But the selling point for me is the Alex Ross art.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a big selling point. I ended up looking through it and just being like, wow, the art's great. I wish I could read the rest of it.
Because there are a lot of homages to events throughout. Like, it deals with a lot of the major events of Marvel's history. The arrival of the X-Men, the formation of the Avengers, Cap being thawed out from the ice. My personal favorite part of the book, even though I'm not a huge fan, is the coming of Galactus, and Galactus himself. And the fact that you have this beautifully, like, oil-painted Galactus in the middle of New York City. It's splash page after splash page, full panels of this, and it is insane. It's more grandiose, like, by 1,000-fold than it was when Kirby drew it, when Lee told him just to come up with something, because they didn't have the plan for Galactus.
The funny thing is like you said, this ends with Gwen Stacy's death. And when I started reading this, I'd also just gotten Spider-Man Blue from Amanda.
Right.
And I started reading through that. And, like, there's some connection between the books, and I was like, motherfucker, he's here too? Like, this dumb journalist with one eye, he's here? Like,
Yeah. But the thing with that is, he believes in the Marvels. Like, society goes back and forth, believing and not believing, based off of, like, social prejudices. Again, the X-Men being persecuted, or the Fantastic Four suddenly getting Galactus to leave when he's been announcing he's going to destroy everything.
Mm.
But he's also there when society loves them. And he struggles to find somebody else at certain points to agree with him, especially after the death of Captain Stacy. And someone to back Spider-Man, and the only other person to do it is Gwen Stacy. So they have a connection. And then she dies in front of him at the hands of the same Marvel. Which is a talking point I've seen from other people on other shows that talk about this book. He puts all his faith into a single superhero, and that superhero lets him down. That superhero is Spider-Man, who at this point in time is in college, which makes him younger than us.
Yeah, in a way.
We are super fallible as the ages we are now.
Yeah.
And this is someone who is dealing with a job and work and
The pressures
schoolwork
of a social life.
and the pressures of
a
social life, love life, his home life, and dealing with being a superhero. He's Spider-Man, but he doesn't have 8 hands to juggle that with. He has the 2. And he fails to save the girl he loves, and a man loses faith in him for that.
Mm.
The man who is the most human of the superhero community, the most relatable amongst the Marvels, lets this guy down, and his immediate reaction is to give up on them entirely.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show how fallible humanity is and how shallow our beliefs are.
And it's also kind of like, you know, he trusted a kid.
Yeah.
Like if you ever had experiences with a child, like, you know, a family member babysitting, and you're like, hey, can you do this for me? And then they don't do it right, and you're like, what the hell? Like, I can't believe you didn't do the dishes right. And it's
Right.
like, well, they're 7.
Yeah. But this is just... Like, I get it because Peter Parker is an adult at this point, but he is a young adult. He is barely into adulthood. And dealing with... He's been Spider-Man since he was, like, 16.
I mean, I wasn't making good decisions like 4 years ago.
Right. Neither
Still
were you
don't make good decisions.
Neither were you trying to save girls falling off the Brooklyn Bridge. But, like...
You know,
That'd be, the fact you got there and back without anybody knowing is incredible.
you didn't know me back then.
It's true. No, I did.
She didn't die, so it didn't.
4
make
years
the
ago?
news.
Yeah.
4 years ago, Fred, you were the quiet kid at work who used to say, like, hey, what's up to? And that
Yeah.
was it.
No, you knew of me.
Yeah. You were the quiet kid.
Yeah.
Who I was convinced didn't like me.
Right.
Probably
look,
didn't.
Look at us now.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, that kid hates me. I don't know what I did. He just fucking hates me.
It's just guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes. Dudes being guys.
With a meta.
Mm.
Wait. No. But, what did you think of that whole... Because you've actually finished the book.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up, Tom.
Nobody asked you. I really liked how this whole thing was done.
Tom, you can talk in the next podcast because you actually have experience. Okay.
Is it about being a failure?
Can I
Yes.
see it again?
What?
Can I see the book again?
Oh, I thought you said you can... I see your can. I'm like, I still have beer in that.
I see that again.
They're going to hit Tom with it.
I loved every part of this book. From the art to the writing style. But then again, I like having more to read than just...
This guy's on fire. Like, I just love that. Like, yeah, Galactus and the Silver Surfer fighting, but like when Galactus comes down and the sky is just like on fire.
I like Galactus.
Yeah, he's a cool character.
Marvel
Just you
Cosmic is
can
best
see
Marvel.
the textures.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, like I said, there's another book I have that's DC that Alex Ross did, and it's fantastic. And that's
Is
why
it Batman?
Batman's in it, but it's like a Superman book,
Okay.
and it's in the. I showed you it when we were
I
in
just
Time
want
Capsule.
those Steelbook releases they did of all the Universal Monster movies that Alex Ross did the art for.
I just like to nag on Batman right now.
Right.
That's been my thing since we finished.
Oh,
Long
The Invasion of Atlantis. That was an awful book, by the way. I've heard like someone retell that story.
What book is this?
So it's still more The Invasion of Atlantis. Like Namor, like not Namor, but some Atlanteans invade the surface world and the Fantastic Four stop them.
Okay.
It is garbage.
That would have been a good, better movie than any of the Fantastic Four movies we got.
No, it would not have, and I will tell you why later.
Well, okay.
I really, don't judge me, want to see the latest Fantastic Four movie.
You haven't seen it?
No.
So I watched it on a CD internet site, and 20 minutes of the movie, or 20, 30 minutes of the movie were cut, and I had no clue they were cut. Because then I watched it again later, I was like, I don't remember this. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, the night we watched it,
Yeah, I was like,
you
what
were
the
like,
fuck's
wait,
happening?
what's this?
I was like, I don't remember any of this. It was like the 20 minutes after like Reed escapes from the government facility,
Which was around the time jump, right?
yeah, and then like it came back 4 years later, a certain amount of time later, and they're working for the
The
military.
'90s Fantastic Four movie is on YouTube now.
I don't know, I've never even known that was a thing.
They made it and released it in like 2 theaters as a way to keep the rights.
I really liked as a kid, I liked the first one they did.
I saw
Evans.
both of them in theaters,
Yeah, I did
and I
too.
couldn't tell
I
you the
liked the
first
first-
thing about either of them.
I remember liking the first one a lot, and then seeing the second one, and like that one kind of sucked, but okay.
Everyone's
Yeah, Chris
in
Evans was a
attendance
better
at that
Human
wedding.
Torch than Captain America.
No, it wasn't.
I know.
What? Wasp?
No.
Marvel has redeemed both.
Oh, okay.
Your
Your finger was like
Him
over his
and
face.
both
Michael B.
Human
Jordan.
Torches.
But at the end of the book, I know you didn't see it. Did you? The last thing that
It's
happens.
it's been a very long time since
Right.
I actually did. I don't remember.
Same.
See the kid on the bike right there?
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
No.
They might say his name on the next page. I think he says his name.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
What's the name?
So, what is it?
Danny Ketch?
Danny Ketch becomes Ghost Rider.
Okay.
He's like, look at this. My normal family. Like, screw these Marvels. Screw the mutants. Screw everything with superpowers. Like, I just want to be normal. This is me with our normal family in our normal neighborhood. Look at this normal kid delivering papers.
A nice, normal, ordinary boy, to quote.
And then he becomes Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
That sucks.
In the
Who's
90s.
the Ghost Rider that they just did on TV in S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Diego.
Luna's the actor. Robbie Reyes?
Robbie
I think?
Reyes.
Okay.
He's the newest Ghost Rider. Who, he's got... It's actually not like the other Ghost Riders. He's got, like, the spirit of a serial killer.
Which Ghost Rider is the cosmic Ghost Rider in the comics?
That
right
is
now?
Frank
it Blake?
Castle the Punisher.
Oh, is it?
Okay, so there's this guy, Donny Cates. He likes to fuck up everything at Marvel, and everybody gives him praise and jerks him off for it. I'm not the biggest fan, as you can tell, but we're going to do one of his books called God Country, which is fucking fantastic. So, in the future, Frank Castle gets the Ghost Rider powers after being Punisher. And then the world ends, and Galactus shows up to eat it. And he, like, rides up to Galactus and starts shooting at him with, like, these machine guns that shoot, like, fire bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And Galactus is like, you got spirit. How would you like to be one of my, my heralds? So he gets cosmic powers and a cosmic motorcycle. So he goes around as Cosmic Ghost Rider, Herald of Galactus, and now he's taking care of a baby Thanos.
That actually sounds pretty fun.
It does, but, like...
Is it
nuts.
any good?
I read the first issue, it was alright. I read the first issue and I was pleased because Odin shows up. The thing I don't like is he changes some of the Venom backstory and, like, makes it more grandiose than it is. And that greatly interferes with the original run of Thor that Jason Aaron did, which is perfect. And I'm like, you get your sticky fingers out of Jason Aaron's Thor before I cut them off. But Venom doesn't even show up in this because Secret Wars hasn't happened yet in Marvel's. That comes 4 years later after this book ends. Like, in the Marvel timeline, not when this book was published. Because Kurt Busiek is a big Marvel junkie. For a while, he didn't have he was semi-homeless, so he was living with different Marvel creators and working with them. He's the guy that fixed the Jean Grey issue when she was dead after the Phoenix thing. And they're like, well, we want to bring her back, but she's dead. No, the Phoenix made a clone of her and left her body in a cosmic cocoon under the water.
How many times are they going to try the Phoenix story in movies and fail?
Several times, but
We're on
currently
number 2.
it's working in
Whatever
Thor.
comes out.
Because in Thor, Wolverine gets the Phoenix powers and lives because of his own immortality and the Phoenix powers put together. Then he imbues them into Thor, who's future King Thor, and becomes Thunderbird. And with the power of Mjolnir, the Odin Force, and
The Phoenix?
the Phoenix, he's able to defeat Doctor Doom, who is both the Iron Fist and Sorcerer Supreme in the future.
What?
Yes,
Okay.
it is awesome. So, Jason Aaron can fuck with continuity all he wants because it's Jason Aaron. Donny Cates tries it. Fuck Donny Cates. This gets significantly worse when it's warm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Just
I mean,
down it all fast.
Shut up, Tom. You can do that with the comic book, too.
I don't know, man. Maybe I'll give Marvels another shot down the line. Maybe.
Just for the art, at
I can
least.
send you a link to a podcast where they talk about it. Like actually retell it
Yeah.
in its entirety, and you'll enjoy it better.
The X-Men chapter was definitely my favorite.
I saw. Yeah, see, I didn't get that far. I got to, like, when Captain America shows up.
What time?
The first time with Giant Man. Giant Man's there. I saw
That's-
Is it Hank Pym,
That's the
Giant
second
Man?
time.
Yeah, that's the page I got to right there.
Oh, so you got to the beginning of X-Men.
Yeah, I did, and I was like, I don't really like X-Men that much, so...
I mean, to be fair, they opened up with Angel, who's like the lamest of the X-Men.
Very true. But yeah, and then, well, I mean, they gave him those dope-ass metal wings in Apocalypse, right?
Yeah, but that's when he becomes Archangel.
I just saw that shot, and I was like, why does he have metal wings? Why is that, like... They took away something that made him unique. Now he's just Falcon 2.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But I thought Vulture was Falcon too.
Alright,
So-
Falcon 3.
They, what was it? Phil ends up working for J. Jonah Jameson at one point too, and his main competition is Peter Parker.
That poor guy, he must hate Peter Parker.
No,
This
he-
is your
no,
9-ish minute
Phil-
warning.
Phil takes like real pictures, and Peter Parker like puts his camera in the corner and puts it on like auto shoot.
And he just swings by a few times.
Yeah.
He's like, look, he's a nice picture of Spider-Man I got. I'm like, wow, that's good.
That's just armpit.
I'm surprised they haven't hit that whole... I mean, that's off topic, but...
I don't
movies?
think we're gonna get him as a photographer.
In those movies?
I think we're more so gonna get him as a filmmaker.
I could see him in this, with him, like, filming and
Yeah.
vlogging.
And
I can see them taking the ultimate route and making him the web guy for like Daily Bugle. Like in the Ultimate Universe, he was the blogger. So
Yeah.
now he'll be the vlogger.
I can see that.
Hey,
It's gonna be
boys,
some kind of
hey,
like a
guys, it's your boy,
BuzzFeed type.
Peter Parker.
Peter.
He does that a few times. Buy my merch, it's over on my page.
You could get it on the web.
Let's not turn Peter Parker into one of the.
Logan Paul. I almost called him
Yes.
Jake Logan. Jake Logan and Logan Jake. Imagine if your name was like Paul Logan. And you're like, I hate my life.
Especially because like it would be backwards on every roster.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna become the internet persona known as Paul Logan. I'm just gonna do all his vlogs backwards. But yeah, I mean, I think, Tom, what was your impression of, like, the couple pages you got into Marvels?
Yeah, your whole 2 pages.
I love the art. Like I said, Alex Ross is great. And you guys talked about Galactus being real cool, and I love me some Galactus.
I mean, I looked at the splash page with Galactus, and yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah. I think
Again, I don't like Fantastic Four, so...
I think Fantastic Four is a really great concept. It's just not been done well in film.
I don't like
and
them in general.
honestly, I think the best Fantastic Four movie,
Is Incredibles.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
No, it's Incredibles.
But see, Ant-Man Incredibles it nails that family dynamic great, but it's a very like down-to-earth threat. With Ant-Man and the Wasp, it nails that family dynamic again, but it does some like weird cosmic stuff with it, which is what I associate with Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shock me that the director pitched a Fantastic Four movie years ago, because you could see that shining through in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
See, the best Galactus stories I've read usually involve Thor, because he fights.
Have you read Thanos Imperative?
Yes.
Move over, thanks.
Oh, I love that scene where Galactus and all the Eternals show up,
Yep.
or all like the Celestial Powers show up, and they're just like,
I
"No."
am so excited for the Eternals as a movie.
God no.
Yeah, see, I think that one is going to be their second Guardians, and I don't think they're going to catch Magic
Oh,
twice.
no.
They're talking about doing it, though, set millions of years before anything else in the MCU, which I think could be really cool.
Maybe.
I think that comes out this week.
Oh, okay. I just go.
I like that, because I've always, with Marvel, my biggest interest has been all of the cosmic stuff. And I think doing, like, prehistory cosmic bullshit like that could just be a lot of fun. And I almost see it potentially taking on, like, a Game of Thrones-y vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
See, I've read the Eternals, and it was by Neil Gaiman, and I love Neil Gaiman's work,
Mhm.
and it was trash.
What about the old Eternals stuff, though?
By Jack Kirby and stuff?
Yeah.
No, because I've only found one issue of that so far. But here's the other thing. I love Kirby. I love Gaiman. See, Gaiman worked with John Romita Jr., and I hate Romita Jr.'s artwork. But, like, still no. They're just boring. They're just, like... They're every other, like, superpowered group that isn't a mutant, but is exactly a mutant.
It feels like the Inhumans concept, but
It is
cooler
the,
to me.
It is the Inhumans concept.
Instead of
Same
being made by some random Kree, it's,
They're
you know,
made by
the freaking
Celestials.
Celestials.
Oh,
and-
cool. Like, fucking actually put a Celestial in a movie besides a floating skull and a guy with a hammer, and it'll be good. Because there's a comic where Thor goes into a Celestial and has to fight the Celestial's anti-bodies.
See, and I feel like doing Eternals as like a prehistory thing, that's our big chance to get living, breathing Celestials like that.
You can put them in the main Marvel universe. They're not gone. They just don't show up at all.
Yeah. I feel like that would be something that would be cool to tap into in a Doctor Strange sequel.
How about we get like Dormammu done first, and then like Nightmare and any of the cool characters?
I think Nightmare is going to be the villain in the next one. Of course, Mordo as well, because that's set up. But it feels like, based on Scott Derrickson's tweets, he really wants to do Nightmare.
Or if they bring in like Satana or Damien Hellstrom.
I don't know any of these characters.
Satana is the daughter of Satan, and her brother Damien Hellstrom is this like ginger dude.
Wait, was he? I think he was in something you let me borrow. I remember it was like
Was it the Doctor Strange movie, the animated one?
No.
He was in that too.
It was I forgot what it was. I know how like Ghost Rider was in it, and Iron Fist at one point.
Speaking of, they need to do like some kind of a Midnight Suns thing. They have
That'd be
Ghost Rider, they have Blade, they could do Doctor Strange
He's
in
got
there.
He's got the pentagram on his chest. He's got a fiery
Yeah.
Yeah.
What how much longer do we have?
We have like 4 minutes-ish.
I'm gonna cry about the cancellation of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. Since that's something
Maybe they're just going to throw them together as heroes for hire.
I hope
That's what it
so.
sounds
It's
like.
definitely going to be on this the Disney service though.
I really think that I think Daredevil's next.
Honestly, because I haven't
viewership is
been
down.
watching
Yeah.
the Netflix stuff, but I'm really excited for the Disney streaming series just because we're finally going to be getting Marvel TV content that's overseen by Kevin Feige instead of Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to connect to the films. And
Jeff Loeb is like, I think he's kind of like on the fence and between good and bad because Daredevil
Right.
season 1 was good, Jessica Jones season 1 was good, Luke Cage season 1 was good. I didn't like season 2 of Jessica Jones. I thought it was awful.
Yep, I haven't finished it yet.
I didn't like season 2 of Luke Cage, but I feel like maybe I should give it another shot. Season 2 of Iron Fist was like mediocre, except at the last 5 minutes, and I lost my mind.
Because the fraction, right?
And then they canceled it. Right as they were leading into the
I
fraction.
haven't watched it yet.
But as far as the Disney streaming things go, there's been a lot of rumors. Now, there's been the Vision and Scarlet Witch one. There's
Yeah.
been a Hawkeye with Clint and Kate rumor. There's been the Falcon and Bucky. There's been Nick Fury, and there's
Give
been
me
Loki.
more Bucky, please.
Yeah, I'd like to see more Winter Soldier and Falcon because, like, right now in the
That
movies,
one-
you're like, who's taking the shield? Are they both gonna get shields? I mean,
yeah.
T'Challa could hook them up.
Get those men shields.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Loki could be fun as a prequel, just to get more Asgard and stuff.
Yeah, but if you do a prequel, like, how do you not put Thor in that?
I mean, maybe you do.
You could do Loki, Agent of Asgard.
The other thing, too, it seems like they're not making these as multi-season shows. It seems like each one is basically going to be like a one-and-done miniseries, is
we
the
could have
impression
done
I
Loki
get.
between Avengers and Thor.
Yeah.
The whole Kate thing makes me so nervous, but I'll save that for another podcast.
The what?
The
Bishop.
Kate thing. Kate Bishop.
Oh, okay, with the Hawkeye.
It's just, they should do it in the vein of the Fraction run. Give her Clint's background. Make her partially deaf. Give her the circus background. I've got way too much of this planned out.
But-
I know he goes deaf in the comics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
The
Fraction
Fraction
Hawkeye
yeah.
stuff is incredible.
But do we get the Pizza Dog episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who's seen Daredevil season 3?
Yes.
You guys should
Probably.
need to watch it. It's really
I've been meaning
I
to.
haven't even seen 2.
very well done.
I
I
got
have
carried
not
away with
watched
Sabrina.
Marvel Netflix since the midpoint of Jessica season 1.
I'm excited
I'm
for
way
Punisher.
behind.
I
Oh,
thought
hell yeah.
Punisher was going to be out. Well, Punisher 2 was going to be out in December, but I don't know.
It seems like it's early next year.
Yeah, which is a
And
shame.
Jessica season 3 is in the process of filming.
Which
Yeah.
here's the thing about the Marvel TV shows though on Netflix. It used to be we got one every, like
It was 2 a year.
We're getting one. We're getting them like every 4 months now.
yeah, which isn't like that close together, but like they're all on Netflix, so like it's not like week to week where you have to catch it. You can just binge watch it,
Yeah.
and like I feel like they're so close together that people aren't getting the time to like binge watch in between
Yeah.
if you don't catch it that weekend.
Yeah. I
'Cause,
mean,
like,
I
you know-
watched Daredevil in the course of about 5 or 6 days.
Right.
Season 1?
Season 3, which is
Oh, okay.
slow for me. Normally I sit
Yeah.
there and bang them all out in 2 days.
But I feel like because of the time of year they're dropping the shows now, especially us with work, like
yeah.
we're getting busier. Because going towards the
But yeah,
holidays.
I'd recommend Daredevil season 3. I think they handled Point Dexter really well, and I kind of liked him better than Kingpin.
And that's a wrap on this one because we have like 30 seconds left.
All right, so thank you for watching this, or listening to this episode of the Comics Brew
Look out
Chew.
for social media.
Bye,
Look out for
guys.
social media. Yeah, stuff. Okay,
Mwah.
bye.